Good evening, everyone. And you've heard the theme song, you've seen the intro, and yes, it's that time again. Season 21 of Sunday Night Lights kicks off once again in style, except I've forgotten in my usual fashion to update the overlays. And it is myself, Alex McKellar, and Corey Steinhauser joining us once again. Season 21 of Sunday Night Lights. Corey, coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV at Suzuka for round one, mate. Big night of racing ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And with a 4.7K soft, we are kicking off this brand new season for us with an absolute bang. We've got two really big I rating drivers in Benny Simonson and Manuel Luqueta taking up the one and two plated seeds. 8.1 for Benny Simonson, 7.7 for Manuel Luqueta. It is going to be a fantastic race if those two end up at the front and battle right from the get go, Alex.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Looking forward. We've got Benny Simonson up front there, as you say. He's no slouch. He's back to Sunday Night Lights action. He's been pretty active actually in the Skippies this year already as we break into 2021, setting up his own league in the absence of 2K Cup. And then back in Sunday Night Lights as well. Great to see him back out on track. Manu Luqueta joins us once again after dominating season 4 of 2020. Great to see the Movano Sim Racing driver back out there and showing us how it's done. Corey, looking forward to that battle up front.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And we've got quite a few other names of notoriety in here as well. And we should be looking at as well. Pablo Espez is the fifth plated seed in this race. Was battling up there with Simpson and Luqueta in the warm up race. But we've also got Christian Perez and Pete Morbiton up there as the fourth and third plated cars, respectively. Definitely no slouches when it comes to Skippy racing, Alex.
Christian Perez. Now, there's a battle I've been wanting to see, can I tell you? Christian Perez versus Manu Luqueta. Throw in Benny Simonson, and you've got some action, that's for sure. Then Pete Mabroden. There you go. There's a fellow we haven't seen for a while. He does some real life stuff, I think, with driving instruction. And he's either stayed up late or got up very early to join us from the Midwest of the US of A, as has Christian Cabanca for Breaking Bad Motorsports. Two US guys. We don't see too many folks from the US joining us here on a Sunday night. Great that they've stayed up or got up and joined us nonetheless. And also great to see Mr. Kawabe-san from Japan, leading the way. The sole Japanese driver in here tonight, really setting the tone for the Japanese club. They've got themselves a Skippy League going, and Guile and Toshimasa Hanada, they really lead the way for the Japanese Skippy contingent. But it's not all overseas drivers. We've got P. Beatty for Team Milo, who's set about 1 billion laps around here this week. Russell Clark, the Team Milo boss man as well. And 1B Snell joining us, the final Team Milo and the final ANZ driver on the grid. It's all Team Milo out there tonight, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. It's a strong Team Milo representation amongst the Oz and Z drivers. But we've also got Speedy Snail in the field as well with Håkon Grebstad, who had a little bit of drama there in the warm up race. Hopefully, he'll be in for a better result tonight. We're starting to get some first lap times in, and the times are looking pretty good right now, Alex. We've got Mark Beckhouse as the six plated car, currently on pole with a 2:24.072 for a first lap. That's pretty electrifying time.
Mate, I thought we might see a 23 in quali, but little did I think we'd almost get one on the first lap. There's a good half second if you get the second lap right. There's no time to warm your tyres in this, or very little. You might get 20, 30 seconds at best, and you're out lap because it's a Grand Prix circuit and a Grand Prix length. But Beckhouse I should say, setting a 24 flat, only just 2 100s or 22 1000s ahead of Simonson. That's a pretty scorching first lap there, Corey.
Oh, for sure it is, Alex. And I'm surprised that anyone was able to out-qualify Simonson with the pace that he has shown, not just in the warm-up race, but in the previous seasons when he has raced with us. He's definitely going to be a contender for the front. But Beckhouse looking to bring the challenge to Simonson and show him what he's got. Simonson currently P2 with Espes third and Luqueta in fourth. So definitely a very stout top little group there. Kawabe sitting in P6 as well. And Ludwig Chitty, 16th played car, sitting in P7, Alex.
Ludwig Geedy, yeah, he is a blast from the past. I can't believe, can I tell you, I can't believe he's car 16. This guy has got some pace. Expect to see him up the front. Mind you, I say that, surprised to see him car 16. It's a 4.7k soft to kick off the season, so perhaps we should expect a bit more of that. But Geedy now coming across to finish his second lap. Where do we see him pop up? There you go. Up to pole. What did I tell you? Car 16 sitting in pole provisionally, Corey. That's one to watch out for.
Indeed it is, Alex. And in the warm-up race, he was showing some great speed as well. In fourth place all by himself and still mixing it up with the lap times of the leaders. I do believe that is just about everyone's laps done. And it looks like Benny Simpson is sitting on top of the totem pole at the moment.
Yeah, Clark's still out there. I don't know if he can set his lap if he can get it in quick enough. I'm just not sure if he'll, where'd he go? Oh no, that's the end of it. All right, let's grab the grid. Missed out on his second lap, did Russell Clark. But leading us off for Apex Racing tonight, Benny Simonson. Welcome back to the series, taking a nice pole as we've come to expect. Mark Beckhouse, new to the series, sitting in P2. Fantastic lap from him. Ludwig Geedy rejoining us. Maybe a car plate number 16, but watch out for him starting third. Manu Luqueta, our reigning champion for Movano Sim Racing, starting out of fourth tonight. Pablo Espes for R70 team. He has got some pace around here and he's starting out of fifth. Pete Mabroden from the US club, he's out of sixth tonight. Great to see him out there tonight. Matteo Grimaldi, we saw a little bit of the Italian racer last season. Let's see what he's got for us starting from P7 tonight. Cristobal Otero for a cross competition rejoins the SNL crew, starting out of P8 tonight. P9, the leading ANZ driver, at least in terms of qualification, Mr. Ben Snell for Team Milo. Rodrigo Alcaraz for Iberia and a cross competition out of 10th. Christian Perez joins us again. I expect to see him moving forward out of P11 for a cross competition goal. Kawabe-san out of 12th tonight, racing for Japan, the Japanese club. Moving on to 13th, Giuseppe Tellini from Italy tonight. 14th, Håkon Grebstedt for Speedy Snails, as we said. Breaking Bad Motorsports, Christian Kabunka out of 15th. Team Milo's, Paul Beatty out of 16th. And the Team Bossman, the only man behind him in P17th, Mr. 17, off the grid is Mr. Russell Clark. Now, we're getting pretty close to the start here. Might grab a bit of a camera angle there on our pole sitter. Mr. Benny Simpson, who's your money on early, Corey?
My early predictions would have to be Simonson. It's hard to put our money anywhere other than that. As the cars are getting ready, the red lights mean rev, and the green lights mean go. We are racing for Season 1 2021, Alex. This should be an absolute barnstormer.
As the drivers head down to turn one, as per a lot of Japanese tracks, they name them first turn. Now, it's actually the first two turns that we see the drivers come through now. There's a bit of too wide. Oh, there's a Bollock off. That's Snell off on the outside, I think. And now he's back in last place as he turns the car to face the right direction once again. Meanwhile, up front, it is Simonson leading Beckhouse and Geedy. Oh, there's a bit more action back in the field. 2x2. They get it all done through the S's for the first time. Up through Dunlop curve shortly. The leaders go on the approach to the Degners for the first time round, Corey.
And it looks like Simonson is holding on to a nice lead over Beckhouse. Ludwig is sitting in third as well. So it looks like we're all nose to tail at the moment. But this is also where some of the big drama can happen, Alex, especially as we head down towards the hairpin.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the minor passing opportunities, you say it's a threshold braking zone, but you don't see terribly a great deal of passing into this, although we see it now as Perez. Is it going up the inside, or is he being... No. It's Grimaldi who had a crack up the inside, but you can see why. You get the better drive. Even though there's more camber on the inside of that corner, the better drive is on the outside, and then you've got this sweeping right-hander on the approach to Spoon at turn 12 this one is, and you get all that big inside run up to fifth gear and the braking into Spoon, tap it down into fourth now, back with our leaders led by Simonson, and this is where it all gets interesting now. You're still in third gear by the time you exit. It is a long run down into 130R this first lap. What are they going to do? There's a long line of skippies, 2x2 in front. We've got Beckhouse and Simonson. Are they going to go 2x2 behind, or is everyone going to keep it cool? Back in line astern. Oh, I'll tell you what, they've done it. The boys have done it. Oh, Beckhouse, he's let it all hang out through 130R, got it done. There's a few running wide out the back, but typically everyone's got through a little 2x2 through the final Casio triangle, the final chicane there, and they've got it done, Corey. First lap, everyone survived.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing, Alex. I thought we would have had a little bit more than just a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact that put Benny Snell at the back of the pack. But the drivers definitely keen to do some racing here tonight by the looks of things. Almost 3 and 4 wide towards the mid-packs there, coming into the first couple of corners. I'm not sure how that ended out.
Whoa,
I'm not sure.
it's
Oh,
ended
we
up
got one
pretty
around.
poorly by the looks. Grimaldi's around. Oh, we might go and have a squeeze, see what we can find there. Grimaldi, I don't know if he's been turned. Let's go have another look, see if we can't grab a better view of it. As they come into turn 1, as you say, 2x2 behind. Grimaldi, the rear's already stepping out. You've got Grebstad coming up the inside, gets a bit of contact and just helps him continue to go around by the looks. And that was all she wrote for... Grimaldi's managed not to hit anyone. That's probably luck more than good management, I would think.
I would have to say so as well, Alex. But that's just how crazy some of these corners can be. I mean, that first 2 corners of this track are very technical without looking technical. You can hold it fairly well through the first corner, but then it's a fairly hard braking zone into that second one to set you up for the rest of that first sector of the lap, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to get it right through the S's to set yourself up with any hope to get a passing opportunity throughout the remainder of the lap. And of course, all that starts at turn 1, doesn't it? So, meanwhile, we're out front now. We've got Beckhouse leading Simonson and Guidi Luqueta tucked in behind. But I tell you what, there's not much separating all this. This front pack is down to about P8 with Perez. And I tell you what, he's not out of it. Perez has got the pace to win this race from position 8. He's got his teammate in Otero in front of him, and he looks up the inside in 130R. Oh, I tell you what, he's just poked the nose. Otero's gone wide. They've both gone wide. They've both gathered it up. Oh, don't tell me the teammates are going to trip over each other as they hit the braking zone into the Casio triangle for the end of lap 2. They've managed to hang on to it and onto the lead pack, but that's perhaps not the fastest way through there, Corey.
Oh, definitely not, Alex, as Perez now trying to go for another move, this time around the outside down the front straight as they head down into the first corner. We've also got a move on for the lead. Benny Simonson taking the lead back away from Backhouse. And it looked like Chitty was going to try and make his way up there to take away second place as well. And he's just about got it done here, Alex.
Yeah, he's got the outside run, but then the S is all... Yeah, there you go. Backhouse lifts just enough to let him through. Oh, I tell you what, Espez is giving it everything behind as well. He's got Mabroten on his tail. Those two will have a feisty race, no doubt. Given half a chance, they'll get it done. I'll tell you what, this front pack of 8, anyone in that pack could win it. I've got no doubt. There's quality from top to tail in that front pack. There's quality throughout the field, but these guys are the ones who are still in it, I would think. You've got Alcaraz, who's leading the secondary pack with Grebstad, Kawabe, Tellini, and Clark, the leading ANZ driver, hanging on the back there with Beatty trailing off behind. Meanwhile, back up in front, it's still a battle of 8. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to how this one plays out.
Yeah, I just worry about people like Espes because I've noticed lately, being on the NASCAR side of things, primarily on iRacing, he's been doing a lot more with the oval racing. So it makes me just wonder if he is coming into the mindset of the way you race in NASCAR or the way you race in a Skippy. Looks like he's doing all right in a Skippy for now, but maybe some of those oval tactics will come into play later on, Alex.
Hopefully no pump drafting because as we know it doesn't work in the skip quite the same way. But he's in under up to his elbows or his eyeballs in this one. But I tell you what, Simonson, he's got half a gap here. It's only half a second. And depending on how these... Oh, I'll tell you what, you want to be careful there, Mr. Beckhouse. Giddy's going to defend this. We run the risk. No, he's lifted and fallen back into line. That's the way to do it. Make sure the guy in front doesn't get a gap. But they didn't gain anything. There's still half a second, I think, between the front... Oh, up the inside, Espes. Have a bit of that one, thank you, Lucetta. Oh, it runs wide, he does, as Espes gets it back under. Lucetta leaves him space. They want to be careful. The front three will run away with it, Corey.
Yeah, and that's just opened up the gap there between Espes and the top three, and they're going three wide down the front straight now. And that always ends in tears as they come into the first couple of corners. So they're
Oh,
going down
speaking
to
of
the
which...
2x2 formation very closely.
And it was Perez who copped it. Looked like a bit of a netcoat, and his car was spat out to the outside there with his teammate, as it turns out. Those two had a rocky start to the race, that's for sure. And Perez has hit the eject button. I'm really sorry to see that. But that's at the expense of the race. As we jump back up front, we've got Simonson, Beckhouse and Geedy looking to try and make a break. I think they've got, what's that, 1.3 seconds now. Those three could run away with it, Corey.
Oh, that's exactly right. They can, Alex, and they probably will here as well. And all three of them definitely have quite a bit of pace behind them right now. As the second pack, now led by Manuel Luqueta, is only a pack of four. So we're starting to see the gaps forming, and this is where everyone's going to have to start playing a little bit of smart drive and see if this pack of four can catch the pack of three leading the way, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. The secondary pack now led by Manu Luqueta. If anyone's going to catch him, it's him. But my money's on the front three now, settling down and racing smart. See if they can't build what is now 1.4 second gap. It's already gone up a tenth with Simonson leading that first train. Seema Broughton now. He's pulled out of the draft. Half in defence, I would suggest, of Espes. Half just to make sure that Luqueta doesn't feel too much pressure. Oh, Espes, he's right up the tailpipe. Now, what are they going to do this time round? Is Mabroten, who's right up under the rear wing of Luqueta, does he try and... Yeah, he is. He's going to take the run. It's very early, though. They didn't really get good use of the draft now. It's because they're all concertinaed up together. Espes surely he's got to let Luqueta back in. Yeah, he does. Oh, I'll tell you what, the standard of driving there from Luqueta was very good. Just to slot back in at the last second at the turning point for 130R. Fantastic driving. Espes made him work hard for it, every bit of it. Meanwhile, up front, we've got Simonson now overtaken by Beckhouse. We had a change for the lead there while we're watching that second pack. Now, will Simonson on the run down to turn one, will he look to take it back? My guess is he will, and there he goes. Pulls out to the inside, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. They're playing a little bit of leapfrog tactics here at the front from what I've seen. Perfect slot as they were coming into the first corner there. And it looks like they're all keeping it very nice and controlled. You know, nothing too big going on here. And, you know, they're just running a cool, calm, collected race now, doing the leapfrog technique and trying to make it work. But on the flip side of that, Alex, it looks like Cristobal Otero starting to drop off the back of that second pack now.
May have picked up some damage in that contact with his teammate. Those two will be kicking themselves. Teammates taking each other out of contention. But I tell you what, the front guys are on fire. Beckhouse, no doubt draft assisted from that last lap. Down the big back straight. He's pulled out a 23 dead. You do see the odd 22 around here with draft. And these boys certainly got the pace to do it. Geedy now, as we said, the 16-plated car. I don't know of a time where I can remember Geedy being that far down. He's been out of the skip scene for a while, but he's getting back into it this season, and we are all the better for it. Expect to see him, if he turns up, right up the front of these fields week after week. Meanwhile, our second pack is still led by Thrustmaster, or it's just Mivano Racing now, Manu Luqueta, with Mabroten tucked in behind an Espes, really trying hard to drop Otero just behind him. Keep our eye on Mabroten. Oh, again, it compresses a little bit as they take different lines through Spoon that time round. You can just see the gaps open up and close down as they tested the waters there with each other through Spoon. This time, Mabroten comes out at the same time. How are they going to play this one? Is there a change for the lead up the front? There is, as Beckhouse goes by once again. This time, Espes leaves a little bit more room for Luqueta, and they get it done. Meanwhile, Otero is right back on the back of that pack, Corey, as we come to the tail end of lap 5, about to crack on with the second half of this race shortly.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it looks like everything's just all stations calm at the moment. Everyone just trying to do what they can to get the most out of it. Also looking at Benny Simpson trying to take that lead back. But Pablo Espes says, hey, wait a minute here. I don't want to play third fiddle anymore. I want to be leading this second pack. And he has just gone through and taken over the lead of that second pack, which is now 4 strong again, as you said, with Cristobal joining back onto the back of it, Alex.
Yeah, it looks like the Espes Mabroten. I called it earlier. These two are going to potentially have a bit of a feisty race. They've managed to get the elbows out a little bit and put Luqueta behind them. I don't know. If it was me, I'd probably want Luqueta on the front, but no driver wants to admit that his competitor's got the pace on him. But I don't know. I don't have the pace of that 4, so maybe maybe they've got it better than I have, at least in terms of their tactics. Now, back up front, we've got Simonson, Beckhouse, and Geedy. This time, Simonson leading around the technical sections through the second Degner now on the run down to the hairpin. And that's probably how I do it as well, Corey. Although, again, these guys not wanting to admit that each other's faster, I'm sure.
No, the one thing you don't want to do as a race car driver, even as a sim racing car driver, is admit that someone else is faster than you, because that's when you start getting yourself into the defeatist attitude. But these guys still trying to push on as hard as they can. They might be able to make a little bit of headway here with Espes on the front of this pack, because he's no slouch himself, Alex. He's been showing some tremendous pace, and he was one of the ones who could try and mix it with Luqueta last season. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with the lead of this one.
Yeah, he's got the lead of that secondary pack, as you say. There's 4 of them now vying for that. Look at them fan out. Geedy using every bit of the track almost and more, as we see Beckhouse now come again through 130R. These guys are getting it done, staying within the track limits. There's been some controversy during the week. People running on the outside of 130R, but they've got it done this time within the track limits. And perhaps more of a story to be told there later in the race. As we duck back a bit further, we've got Grebstad sitting in P8 now, leading a chain of Alcaraz, Kawabe-san, Tellini, and yes, the Milo Bossman leading ANZ driver, sitting in P12, the final SNL point scoring position. Mr. Russ Clark, he's down in 12th. As we jump back up the front now to check on our leaders, it's still Simonson again leading through the technical sections as we come through the S's at the early stages of lap 7, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex, and it's still all stations normal here at the front. Simonson leading the way from Beckhouse and Geedy. And the second group has had one small change. Moberton has taken over the lead of that second pack now. So it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic of this second pack goes. I mean, they're just not quite as fast as our leaders at the moment, it would seem, Alex, but they're still trying their hardest out there.
Tell you what, they caught up a couple of tenths, and they're catching up a bit more now with Mabroden on front. They were some 2 seconds off the back of that pack. They're now 1.5 and catching. What's happened here? they're down to 1.5. So they've caught up half a second in that last little bit. Espes doing a 22.7 last lap, which is literally half a second faster than our leaders. Perhaps they want Espes on the front of this one, Corey.
Well, I did say before, Alex, Espes has been proven to have pace, and he is one of the mythical beings that can mix it up with the one Luqueta, and has been known to trade punches with one Benny Simonson from time to time as well. So it'll be interesting to see how, as I said before, the dynamic of this second pack will unfold, especially if Espes can get back onto the front of it, which I imagine he'll do here on the back straight before 130R.
Yeah, could well do. Yeah, he's pulling out nice and early, as it turns out. And Mabroten pulls back into line with Luqueta tucked in behind them. Oh, showing the nose is Otero, but no, he pulls back into line as our leaders. Once again, see Beckhouse take the lead up the back straight. Simonson tucked right in behind with Geedy along for the ride. Really looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. As we see, no doubt, Simonson do the cursory overtake down the front straight. Although he's pulled out of the draft. Pulled back in, perhaps just wanting to get it timed right as they fan out behind him in pairs. Espes is he not making it easy? Is he going to defend into there, or is he just giving Mabroten the line? Yeah, the latter seems to be true. Just making it easier, if anything, for Mabroten to get the racing line through there. They're back there only 1.5 seconds. So they gained half a second the previous lap, Corey, but nothing on that last one. With what do we got to go? We've got about 3.5 by the time they exit the S's this time round, or by the time they get through the Degners at least.
Yeah, I think what happened there was Espes pulled out to the middle to allow Mobreton to take the racing line. But he decided to just follow Espes that little bit longer, possibly looking for just that little bit extra overspeed in the draft. And yeah, just kind of ruined the flow that they had going there a little bit. But the race is still not over yet. As you said, 3.5 laps left to go. It's a very long lap around here, and it looks like the leaders starting to take some liberties with the exits of some of these corners. So we could see some interesting action here as we start closing up to the end of the race, Alex.
Yeah, can I tell you, the trailing pack was, what's that, about 2-3 tenths quicker. Yeah, you can see it on the Mabroten there. If you look at line number 4 there, they're 1.2 seconds behind. They were 1.5 the lap before, so they are gaining with Espes and Mabroten on the front of that second pack. I'll tell you what, 3 laps to go, it's not out. They only need to be within 1.1 to 1 second to start getting a sniff of the draft. These guys, this could be back to a 7-car pack before we know it, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And if they can do it before the start of this last lap, then it is going to be on for all the sheep stations in the world when they get around to these final couple of straightaways. I've also noticed that the leaders are taking a lot of the grass there just before 130R, so they want to be careful that they don't take too much because the grass can help you turn a little bit, especially for such a high-speed corner, but I don't want to overstep it too much there, Alex.
Oh, Luqueta, he had the elbows out, and he's put Mabroten off the track. Hopefully no damage. Luqueta made the move at 130R. He said, I want to get in amongst this. I need to get moving. If we're going to catch these guys, I need to be up the front of that secondary pack. And he's got the elbows out, and Mabroten cost him off the back. Now, as we see Otero making the move up the inside of Luqueta into turn 1. Espes now with no drafting partner. What are they? They're back to 1.4 seconds. That's cost of 1.5. That lack of drafting there with Mabroten and Espes, that's cost these guys. And Otero now looking to make his presence known. I don't know if these blokes are giving up on winning the race, but they were catching and now they're dropping, Corey.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a seesaw here while these guys are sorting themselves out. It looks like Luqueta definitely keen to try and be the second car of this second pack because he knows that he works really well with Espes. And that is something that we have seen before, these two working very well together to try and catch up to the front pack. I'm still getting about 1.4 in certain areas, so we could just wait and see here, Alex. We might still see some gains happening yet.
Yeah, I'm worried. I was on for the big finish, but these guys are I don't know. They've messed with the rhythm as we see it once again. Lucetta making the move up the hairpin there, hasn't got the drive out. We might see some more side by side up through turn 12 on the run into Spoon. And again, they're going to drop. Espes is going to drop them at this rate. And that'll be it for... he's just got it back in behind there. Otero, have they lost the draft? They're 8 tenths behind. This is costing them any chance of winning the race because Espes has no drafting partner. He's got no draft from the cars in front. 1.3, he's not gaining or losing anything at this stage. Bow out to 1.4 as the leaders start running away with it. These guys would be cheering all the way to the bank, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And the top three are still just in cruise control mode here, still doing the leapfrog, and they know that they've got this in the bag just as long as they drive politely for the next lap and a half, because after that, that's when all chaos is going to ensue in that final half a lap. But we'll have to wait and see as Otero locked it up big time, trying to catch up to the back of Espes there. And Lucetta now trying to take over that fifth position again from Otero, going down the front straight, Alex.
Yeah, but Otero's got the one with, as we see Simonson take the lead in the foreground once again. Those guys working well together with the balance of 2 laps remaining this time round. It was Otero who had Espes letting the rear of the car hang out. That's brought the other two right back into play. But that's it. The front three are gone. No chance catching them now with a lap and a half to go once they hit the Degners. It's now a race for Simonson, Beckhouse and Geedy, as it kind of was almost from the early stages. Thought we might have a grandstand finish there, but really now it's two packs of 3 races. Podiums and the rest, Corey, as these guys try to work it out for the final couple of laps.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I reckon in about 1 lap time, we're going to see everything starting to fall into chaos, because that's what they usually like to do here in the Skippy Sunday Night Lights races, because these are generally the biggest softs, and that's where people start getting a little bit crazy and start doing moves that they probably wouldn't normally do on a regular official race, Alex.
Yeah, potentially. You never know. We'll see. We'll see what these guys have got for us this time round as we hop on board now with Ludwig Geedy. Great to see him back in the series once again. He's tucked in behind, and you can just see there Beckhouse popping out of the draft. Not really attacking there, just popping out of the draft. You can feather the throttle, or you can hop out of the draft to make sure you manage the distance between yourself and the car in front. Now it's interesting, he might have wanted a bigger gap to take more advantage of the draft, but because they're in threes in the middle of a sandwich, he can't back off as much as he perhaps wanted to. Now, what's Geedy going to do? He's going to sit. Yeah, you can hear the lift. He's going to wait till the last lap to make a solid move here. And this is what they've been doing the whole race. You see Simpson lift just enough to tuck in between and become the meat in the sandwich as these guys now fall back into line for the last lap. I've got to ask you, Corey, who's the money on?
I still can't look past Simpson. He's the number 1 plated car for a reason, Alex, and he has proved to us time and time again that he is very worthy of it. As we are now on the white flag lap, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. Ooh, you got your money on, Alex, because I am really curious to know.
Oh, look, Simonson's got the lead. Oh, as we see Geedy come up the inside, he put a little bit more brake on there. Perhaps he was thinking there, it's a tighter line through there, but he'll be on the outside for turn 3 there, the first of the S's, and is Beckhouse going to give it up? No, he's not. This might cost them. This might be Simonson. Your money might be on the right horse there at the end of this. Geedy backs out. Wow, what do we got? We got 0.6 of a second, nearly 0.7 for them to make up in the second half of this lap, Corey. You might have backed the right horse.
I do believe I have, Alex, but there's still 2 very large drafting zones that these guys can utilize to try and catch up. Talking about turn 12 before Spoon, and then after Spoon, the back straight, which is also used as a pit straight for a different version of this track. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they can do. They can also try and break very deeply here into the hairpin, but it's all going to be on these guys from here to try and make something of this race now, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. No moves into the hairpin. What about the second pack? We've seen a move now. Otero goes up the inside of Luqueta. Can he get it? Oh, these boys have got the elbows out there. Luqueta has to pull over. Almost cops a shot from Otero, but pulls out just in time. He's got a bit of nose damage there. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of nose damage there. Might have picked that up on the way through. Meanwhile, back up front, Beckhouse, I should say, looks to be now 14. He's caught up 3/10. 2 or 3 tenths. I'm not sure if he's close enough. Oh, I don't know if he's got it close enough to get it done through. Oh, yeah, he's inside 4 tenths. He might before 130R. Could be side by side through 130R. Here we go, Corey. All the chips are on the table. 130R is where it's going to happen. Then into the final. Casio triangle. The chicane at the end there. Up the inside. Simonson decides to take the outside. Oh, he keeps it in the limits as well. All the marshals have no problem with that. Oh, it's Giddy up the inside. No. Side by side. Simonson's got the inside run. He's going to take the outside to the second part of it and then get it all done up the inside. And the inside run into the finish there. Geedy trying to get it done around the outside, but it's a long way around there. As we see Simonson take out round one. Geedy gets it done around the outside, and his return to Sunday Night Lights, and Beckhouse rounding out the podium. We then see Espes, Otero, and Luqueta finish out our top five positions. Congratulations to Simonson, who's from Apex Racing, who's got it done in the end there, Corey. Fantastic finish to a great start to the season.
Oh, that's exactly right, Alex. I knew as soon as we saw the 4.7K soft that this was going to be an interesting race, and they didn't disappoint. And 4/1000ths of a second separated second and third place. So they definitely showing us that they are worthy of the skill that they have been bestowed upon.
Yeah, mate, that was quite. I didn't think Giddy would get it done around the outside there, of that final corner, but the inside running, the compromise line the Beckhouse had to take through the Casio triangle meant that Giddy was able to set him up and get it done around the outside, which you don't see terribly often because the exit speed was better. So congratulations to our podium, who put on a great race tonight. And now let's go and check out our results for round one of season 22 of Sunday Night Lights. Mr. Benny Simonson making a successful return from Apex Racing, taking out the first round here tonight at Suzuka. Congratulations to Benny. Successful return for Ludwig Geedy as well, who's made it back into the series now. Car 16 finished in second. A great drive from Ludwig, very controlled and very tactically good there at the end. Mark Beckhouse, a welcome beginning to his Sunday Night Lights tilt. He's come in third, rounding out our podium tonight. Pablo Espes led the secondary pack there for R70 team, finishing in fourth tonight. Cristobal Otero for Across Competition, rounding out the top five. Last season's champion, Manu Luqueta for Mivano Sim Racing, managing sixth tonight, and he was in it up to his eyeballs throughout. But he'll be looking to move forward from there. Pete Mabroden, welcome back to the series. He hasn't been a regular visitor, but we do hope to see him a bit more often. He copped a bit of a bump in the middle there. Won't have been happy with that, but he's finished seventh for his troubles here tonight. Hawkon Grebstead for Speedy Snails, finishing in eighth. Kawabe-san gets his top 10 finished in the highest soft he would have seen in a Skippy. He's finishing P9, perhaps taking advantage of the home track advantage here at Suzuka tonight. Giuseppe Tellini from Italy, finishing in 10th. ANZ and Team Milo bossman Russell Clark finishing in 11th, just ahead of his teammate Ben Snell for Team Milo. And the final Team Milo driver, 1, 2, 3, 13th, Mr. P. Beatty. Christian Perez for Across Competition. He was one lap down after having to pit after that incident with his teammate. Rodrigo Alcaraz for Across Competition. Similarly, down 2 laps in 15th. Matteo Grimaldi. He is all the way down at 16th, having retired, as was Christian Cabanca. I didn't see what happened to Christian. Might go back and see if I can find something in the replays to see what happened to Mr. Cabanca. I didn't see it. Corey, did you catch that one? Oh, well, anyway, we'll see what happens. I might have a chat to him during the week and see what we can't find out. But, Corey, that's our results for the first week of racing. Back 4,700 soft. Welcome back to Skippy Sunday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. It's an incredible race all the way through. Action packed at the start, lots of strategy throughout that middle there. And then the way that they just finished that off was absolutely amazing to watch. And I hope that this is just a small glimpse of what we can look forward to seeing this season because the action is red hot and it's going to be a fantastic season if they can keep this up.
Yeah, mate. I'm hoping that the festive season's brought them out and the racing's going to get them to stay because that was a sensational start. Can't believe the quality of the field when Ludwig Geddes, car 16. He's been on hiatus. He's come back to Skippy Racing and he's put it in second out of seeded 16th. Just speaks to the quality of the field once again. Really happy with the turnout here tonight for week one. And hopefully the big things will continue throughout the season. Of course, we are here for a reduced season due to the Christmas break, folks. We've got 10 weeks this season, 3 drop rounds, and plenty of good Skippy racing ahead of us. Make sure you join us each and every week on a Sunday night, same bat time, same bat channel, Corey. But sans any interviews here tonight, by the looks of things, we might be getting an early mark, mate.
It would seem that way, Alex, and they're probably a little bit too full of the holiday spirit at the moment, so we'll let them have that for this
Oh,
week.
hang on, here they come, here
Oh,
they
look
come.
out!
Yeah, and I've just picked him up on the on the replay too. That early spin, so we might bring up Mr. Snell. Good evening, Mr. Snell. Welcome back to Sunday Night Lights. We just caught a replay there. There's a big spin. Not the race you were looking for out there, mate, but welcome back.
Hello, welcome back. New year, same me, still dying. That was a real shame. Just unfortunately, it was a little bit of a case of me probably being a little bit too tight, and I think it was Rodrigo just being a little bit too wide. And of course, wheel to wheel contact means usually the guy on the outside dies, which was me. And then I just ran around and picked up the scraps. I got back into the points, so I can't complain.
No,
And yeah, no, that was about it really. It was
yeah,
really annoying running at like almost the same pace as the leaders for half of the race, and then just by myself.
yeah, mate. I was pleased to see you get back in the points at least, but yeah, you're right. Tough night out when you're running solo and just picking up the scraps like that, particularly when the racing was so hot up front, right? So a bit of a shame there, mate. Sorry to see that, but certainly glad to see you back in the car. And can we expect to see a bit more this season?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and get around, make sure I make as many rounds as I can. Weekend commitments pending, but hopefully I should lead some sort of ANZ charge. We try and get some Aussies back in here and take it to these European guys that just seem to be stomping all over us.
Well, mate, there's some big names up the front of this car. Ludwig's back. You got Lucetta. The last season took out everything and can only finish sort of sixth, I think he was. Mate, it's a big night out when you get that sort of field.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I just made it. Like I was car 17. I was like the last car in the field. I'm like, I'm really, really glad because I lost a whole bunch of I rating having some practice this morning or this afternoon,
Yeah,
which,
we just.
as you can tell by me coming, I practiced coming last, so it was pretty good.
Well, practice makes perfect, mate. But hopefully you'll be practice winning next week. But thanks for joining us, mate. Great to see you back out there. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Of course, big shout out to you and Corey for putting on the broadcast. It's great to be back again for another year and another season. And of course, a massive shout out to Team Milo, and Russell does indeed say hi.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Russell. Hi, Russell. Thanks, Ben. We'll chat to you again in the coming weeks, mate.
Catch you guys.
Corey, Ben Snell, back in action. Great to see him back out there. I know he'll stick it up the front, point in one of these days in the rounds to come, and look forward to seeing him do so.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Alex. And I want to actually put another shout out to Ben for taking over the commentary duties for me for the final round of the season. I had other commitments on that I had to cast my eyes upon. So unfortunately, I wasn't here to broadcast with you for the final race of the season. But he did an excellent job in my absence, and he's always willing to step up to the plate when I'm unable to join you. So thanks again for that, Ben. Very muchly appreciate it, and hopefully no more spin outs like the one that I just seen on the replay screen.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a second one. Anyway, no, he did. I appreciate him stepping up as well, and hopefully we'll catch him again on track a bit more often this season. But next up, we've got Mr. Håkon Grebstad. Håkon for Speedy Snails, of course. He stuck it in P8 tonight. First Skippy race of the season or thereabouts, I would have thought. Håkon, how'd you find it out there?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Didn't really have the pace. I thought I did well considering how little practice I had. But I would like to point out that I'm pretty sure I won that race because I was the only one that did the Joker lap.
Fair enough, too.
So, I won.
Yeah. Look, it was a pretty hot field out there tonight. So coming in underdone was always going to be a challenge, mate. But hopefully there'll be some extra laps and some better results for you in the week. Although you're inside in the coming weeks, although you're inside the points in P8, which is nothing to sneeze at in this sort of field, mate. So well done on that, and thank you for joining us once again. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to while you're here, mate?
Oh, I just got to thank you guys for putting this on. It's always good fun to jump in and have a go, even though the field's crazy like this. I'm pretty happy with P8, to be honest.
Yeah, mate, it was pretty big and a good result as well, mate. But hopefully, with a few more laps under your belt, you'll be back up there at the pointy and giving it to these fellas as well, mate. So look forward to seeing that. So congratulations, mate, and hopefully we'll see you again in the coming weeks.
Yeah, let's see how it goes at the Glen. Take care, guys.
Thanks, mate. There you go, Corey. Grevo back in action again for Speedy Snails. Potentially someone to keep an eye out in the future if he gets a few more laps under his belt.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, we know Håkon has the race winning pedigree. We've seen him come out and win races before with SNL, and it's always a joy to have Håkon come in. You can definitely tell his mood by his voice, which is something that's very important to us. Not obviously being able to see him in person, but definitely great to have Håkon on board and the Speedy Snails team, formerly Ovaltine. And, it's going to be great to see what he can get up to this season and whether he can actually get up there and get a win, especially if the fields are going to be like this every week.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Now, our final... oh, no, we've got a couple more. Mr. P. Beatty, whose beaming eyes are now staring at the audience once again, taking the full Sunday Night Lights experience to the max. Mr. P. Beatty, he's done about 1 billion laps here this week. How did you find the racing out there tonight, mate?
Pretty disappointed, actually. I mean, I don't think I would have finished any higher, but I just drove like a wally, really. Silly mistakes, got a flattering finish. Had a bit of a half-assed go at Ben for the last Saturday Night Lights points, but couldn't do it. So, yeah, it was all right, There's always next week.
There is indeed, mate. But look, P13 just out of the points, hoping for bigger and better things during the season, mate. More top split appearances this season, I reckon, with the IR and the way you're tracking, and more points on the offing, and maybe contributing to an ANZ resurgent in this big race of ours.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope I did better than I did tonight. He showed me doing stupid things on the track again. There you go. Oh, man, you always pick your timing well, don't you? Just missing corners and stuff.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Look, thanks for joining us, mate. Great to see you out there again. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, all the team Milo mates. I let Russell go quite easily at the beginning because I thought, there's no point in stuffing his race up. And you guys for putting it on. Thanks very much, guys.
Beautiful. Thanks, Paul. We'll catch you in the coming weeks.
Cheers, dude.
There you go. 1P Beatty beaming back at you from the Team Milo cockpit there, the 15-plated car. He's been going all right. I'm surprised to see him at 15. In fact, his I rating's that good. He was ahead of Geedy, who finished second. That's interesting in terms of the seeding, Corey, for what's on the books for the season to come.
And the big thing that he can have bragging rights over Alex is that he's got a better rank than Ben. And as we know, the Team Milo boys are very competitive, especially when it comes to each other. And there's definitely some bragging rights going on in just that one little fact alone.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. And see the team boss man leading the way. He's in the 4300s or something. So, yeah, there's a bit of friendly rivalry in the team already.
And that's exactly right. And that's what we love to see. is just the teams come up and come through and get competitive with each other and even get physical with each other on track, which we normally see the Milo boys doing. Um, but Paul does a billion laps at every single trap every single week. And, it's really been showing. He has been improving so much as a driver as the seasons have gone on. And I don't think it's going to be too long before we see a P-Beatty and P1.
Oh, that's a big call. Don't let him know that. He won't be able to get his head through the doorstop, mate. Anyway, let's have a listen to let's have a chat with, I should say, our race winner who's joined us, Mr. Benny Simonson. Benny, great to see you back out on track in a skip, mate. Looks like you're in for a big season. You've set up the new competition in lieu of the 2K Cup, and then you've come out here and dominated the finish in the end of what looked like a fantastic race, mate. How did it look like from your cockpit?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was dominated, but no, it was a good race. Yeah, I think, I mean, when you look at the grid, pretty much everybody can win, really, can't they? So, it's about being in the front pack constantly. So, um, yeah, I was a bit lucky that Mark and Ludwig fought each other a little bit hard in the first, in the first couple of corners in the last lap, which just I think just gave me enough to not be drafted past on the back straight, and yeah.
Yeah, mate, I agree. They did sort of, Ludwig sort of made his move, and it disrupted Mark a little bit there, and that gave you enough of a gap. But I thought the strategy there, taking the outside through 130A, he kept it in the track limits, which has been a point of conversation throughout this week. You guys put on a fantastic show of how to race. You race smart, leapfrogging throughout the race with Mark, and it just helped to build that gap. Just when I thought the second pack were going to reel you in, the teamwork there fell apart as Lucetta tried to move forward, and it just opened the door for you guys to drive away with it, mate. So congratulations on a great win, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of you out there this season, mate.
Yeah, let's see. See if we can make them all. But yeah, no, that's fun.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Anyone like to give a shout out tonight before we let you go?
Just you guys as always. Always very kind to put on the show, so we all enjoy it. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, Benny. Look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come. And I don't know, there's some battles in this field that I'm looking forward to if our regulars rock up. You throw Ludwig Geedy back into it. You got yourself and Ludwig and Lucetta, last season's champion, just to name a few. You throw in Christian Perez, who won the last 2K Cup from memory. We've got some good racing ahead of us, mate. So congratulations again on taking the first one out, and we look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks.
Thank you, boys. See you.
There you go, Corey. One Benny Simonson. Great to see him back out there. The one plate. I can't tell you it's hard to get the one plate in this race tonight. It took all of 8,100, nearly 8,200 I rating to do it. That's some sort of field, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And Benny Simpson is definitely no slouch in anything that he drives, real life or simulated here on iRacing. And I'm glad that he's back. We missed him so much last season, and to have him up the front and mixing with it straight away is absolutely fantastic to see. And it's definitely going to be an interesting season if he sticks around.
Yeah, absolutely. He's taking a leading role in the coaching and the skippies at Apex Racing as well. You can see the livery on board there and the team name. Folks, if you'd like to get your name in the overlays, come over to our Discord server that I'll put a link to up shortly. You get your name and your team and your photo in there, and be part of the broadcast, as it were, in a new way this season again. So, yeah, we're always trying to get things done a bit better, and we're finding the right tools, as they say. So, but there you go, Corey. That was our first one after a bit of a break. A good one to start it. But can you let the folks know at home what you got on this week?
So this week, normally I would be doing our little off-season Legacy Cup race for Output Racing League, but bushfires permitting, I'll be going to the Perth Motorplex instead on official Speedway Memes duties for round number 5 of the USA versus WA Sprint Car Speed Week. Same again for the Saturday as well. In the meantime, the days in between that, we're just going to be looking at having some fun on stream, maybe playing a little bit of Among Us or a little bit of iRacing. little bit of just anything. We'd never know what's going to go happening on my channel, Alex.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Now, before we go, everything Top Split is on your screen. As I said, join the Top Split Discord channel. That's where you find out how to participate in the broadcast we do here. To join the race, all you got to do is join the official 9:15 Australian Eastern daylight saving time at the moment, GMT plus 11. Join the official Skippy race. If you're in the Top Split, you're in the broadcast. The Top Split YouTube is where you'll find all the race replays, including this and all the previous seasons. And of course, Corey and I are on Twitch. And the Top Split TV Twitch channel is where you find the live broadcast, folks. But otherwise, thank you for joining us, both on track and off, for another season kickoff, season 22 of Sunday Night Lights. It's great to be back. And until next time, thanks for joining us. And I will say on behalf of Corey Steinhauser, I've been Alex McKellar, and ciao for